Hi, everybody. My name is Kirsten. I work for Dakota County in the Environmental Initiatives Unit. We are excited that you're signing on today. The people in my unit, we work with businesses, schools, residents, and help people recycle and recycle correctly. And so that's my role today, is to give you a brief overview about why recycling is important, and then we're going to get more into the nitty-gritty, most likely why you're signing on today, about what is and is not recyclable. All right, without any further introduction, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to pull up my PowerPoint. And once again, we're sad that we can't be in person or be in front of you for doing education, but with COVID, this is kind of just one of the things that we're having to do. And I think that the world understands at this point. So multifamily recycling, let's get started. When I tell you the phrase, throw something away, what does that mean? Where is away? In Dakota County, unfortunately, there is no away. Everything that we throw into the trash, just about everything, goes to one of two landfills. A landfill is basically just a big hole in the ground that's lined with some pretty heavy-duty materials, and the materials get compacted at the end of each day by a big piece of equipment that looks like this. It gets buried at night and essentially just goes and sits. And if somebody had accidentally thrown something that was recyclable into the trash, it will go and spend the rest of its productive life in a hole in the ground for forever. It's kind of unfortunate, but it happens quite often. All right, let's talk about recycling. Where do your recyclables go? Your recyclables go on a much longer journey. They get picked up, taken to a sorting facility. They are called materials recovery facilities, or in our industry, we call them MRFs. I might accidentally call it a MRF, sorry about that. But a MRF is where materials are separated by humans and by machines, and essentially put into large bales and shipped off to the next facility where it'll be made into a brand new product. Now, over the course of you putting the item into your recycling dumpster or cart, that could be made into a new product within 6 weeks. So it's a pretty fast turnaround time. Recycling saves natural resources. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good spot for my screen here. Saves natural resources. Recycling conserves energy. It cuts way down on pollution and is really good for our economy. The example that I like to give here is we have a local facility, and it's called By the Yard, which is located in Jordan, Minnesota. And they take all of our milk jugs and water jugs and turn them into patio furniture and patio decking. So it's made from recycled plastic. And these patio furniture and decking, they are durable, and so they can stand up to a test of time. So how cool is that? We have something that's so local to us, and we're continuing to support our recycled products and local businesses. So by you recycling, you're supporting your local economy. How about that? All right, so in 2019, we did a survey of Dakota County residents and asked them, why aren't you recycling? Or what's preventing you from recycling? The number one answer that we saw was that many people are still just confused. They still don't know what's recyclable and what's not. And that can lead to one of two things. Either one, they only recycle 2 or 3 items that they absolutely know is recyclable, but still those other items that are recyclable are ending up in the trash, and that's not what we want. The alternative is what we're seeing a little bit more often is people who have the best intentions, and I totally understand this, but they throw everything into the recycling, hoping that there's some little fairy that's going to pull things out and get the usable stuff from their recycling. That's not the case. I will tell you right now that when you are putting everything into the recycling, you're putting a larger burden on the sorting facilities, who will then have to dispose of your items that aren't supposed to go into the recycling as trash. They're having to pay for these higher disposal costs, and that's not what we want. And so essentially Dakota County has reached out to the sorting facilities and has asked them to collect at least 5 items. And I'm going to be talking about these 5 items in just a minute, but these are the 5 items that are at the highest quality. We know that they have markets available, so there's industries that want to buy them, similar to Buy the Yard, and it's very simple. So our solution to the confusion that many residents have is making things very simple, very basic. So let's talk about the list. This is the list of all the things that are recyclable in Dakota County. Don't worry, most likely your property is participating in our Dakota County recycling program. You'll get some materials that will have more information, things for you to reference along the way, so you don't have to like memorize the screen right here today. I'm just showing this to you today as a reference. So paper and cardboard, cartons, cans, glass, plastics, all of these have markets in Minnesota. Things need to stay empty and dry and loose in your cart and dumpster. All right, so we're going to get a little bit more in depth right now. So things like paper and cardboard. It's currently early October here in the state of Minnesota, and so I know that I'm receiving tons of political ads to my house. Basically, all your mail can go right into the recycling, along with newspapers and inserts, magazines, and catalogs. So all those things can go into your recycling. Cardboard, again, it's 2020, and we are hearing that one of the #1 things that is entering the recycling is cardboard, because of Amazon, right? So all cardboard is just fine to put into the recycling, along with paperboard, so cereal and cracker boxes, shoe, gift, electronics boxes, and boxes from toiletries. All right, so question for you guys. What do you think about shredded paper? And if we were in person, I would ask you to participate, give me some feedback, and I know that we can't right now, unfortunately. So I'll tell you right now, shredded paper is a no. Sorting facilities do not want shredded paper. There's many reasons why they don't want shredded paper. The simplistic answer is that it honestly just causes a mess. Even if you put it in the most secure paper bag, plastic bag, that bag will most likely break open, get confetti, paper shreds everywhere on the sorting line or on the floor. Seeing these facilities, that is the top thing that I see on the floor and all over the place is just shredded paper. And there's nobody who's gonna like go and pick up the paper shreds and put in the paper mill area. It's just not gonna work. So the sorting facilities have said they don't want shredded paper. What should you do with your shredded paper then? Our recommendation is to only shred what's necessary. So things like confidential documents, if you're worried about it, and I understand if you are, you can use the retail drop-off sites or the annual shred events. Now, each city in Dakota County is required to have 2 shred events per year. You can check our website and find out when those shred events are. But those are available to you as a resident. And then already shredded paper you can bring to the recycling zone. All right, also on the paper nose, and I'm not gonna get too in depth with this stuff. You can feel free to reach out to us if you have more questions, but things like paper plates, paper cups, napkins, and tissues, don't put them in the recycling. These things are trash. All right, on the yes list is metal cans. So accepted in recycling are aluminum, tin, steel cans. And then on the no list, so things that we don't want in the recycling are aerosol cans, scrap metal, and pressurized containers. Scrap metal can cause a lot of problems if you put it in the recycling. So there are other things that you can do with these things on the right that is not putting it into your regular recycling. But your aluminum, tin, and steel cans are absolutely recyclable. And actually, if you put an aluminum, tin, or steel can into the recycling, it will become a brand new can because that's what metal does, and it's pretty cool. All right, also on the yes list are bottles and jars. So things like your wine bottles, salsa jars, juice bottles, all are accepted. On the no list, things that we don't want in the recycling are ceramics, drinking glasses, and dishes or mirrors. So over here on the right are the things that are the more durable kinds of glass. That's the biggest difference. I can try to make it easier for you. The durable glass they don't want in the recycling, but if it's something that had food in it, it's recyclable. It's a recyclable glass. All right, moving on to cartons. So cartons are our new team player on the block. Cartons were added to recycling in Dakota County probably 7-8 years ago. So that would be things like milk and juice cartons, juice boxes, soup, broth, and wine cartons. I'm trying to talk quickly because I have limited time. But cartons are accepted in recycling. And plastics. Plastics are probably the most confusing thing, and understandably so, about what is and is not recyclable. So all containers that are numbered 1s, 2s, or 5s are acceptable in Dakota County. That would be things like your soda, juice, water bottles, milk and juice jugs, margarine, cottage cheese, cream cheese, and other tubs, plus the lids, and then laundry detergent bottles and jugs. And then I get this question a lot, the clear berry and produce containers, all recyclable. Again, caps can go right back on. If you want your cap to get recycled, it cannot go separately into the recycling. It's too small and it won't make it through the sorting facility. But if you want that cap to get recycled, you can put it right back on to the container that you got it on and put it into the recycling, just like that. All right, so we're gonna get into the plastic nose now. I'm gonna be talking a lot about plastic bags today. Plastic bags are the #1 thing that they do not want in the recycling. They get tangled in the sorting equipment and have to shut down operation at the sorting facilities at least 3 times per shift just to cut out all the plastic bags. So absolutely no plastic bags in the recycling, and we can talk about where you can put them in just a little while. But also in the plastic nose is styrofoam and black plastic. These last two are just low quality items. Really, there are no markets. There's nobody who wants to buy them and make them into something new. Maybe if you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business and start collecting these items and making them into something, go for it, because we need people to do that kind of thing. But for now, don't put it in your recycling because they just don't have the markets for them. All right, so this is the part of the presentation where it's like your call to action. If you have no other reason to start recycling correctly today, do it for the workers. This is an excellent image of what one of these sorting facilities looks like and what the conveyor belt would appear to be. So imagine this conveyor belt is moving like maybe 5-10 miles an hour. There are literally people pulling things off the conveyor belt that don't belong on that belt and in the sorting facility. So if you have no other reason to start recycling correctly today, do it for the workers and keep these things out. So keep the plastic bags out. Plastic bags can be collected and taken to a local retail site. Walmart, Target, Lunds and Barley's, basically any major grocery store should have a collection container where you can bring your plastic bags, put them in there, clean and dry, and they will get recycled separately. But plastic bags cannot go in recycling carts or dumpsters. Things like tanglers, so hoses and chains, also, as you can imagine, can get tangled in the sorting equipment and actually cause damage at these sorting facilities, so just don't put them in there. Things like food and liquid. So that goes back to my comment about having your recyclables be clean and dry, keeping your food and liquid out and making sure that they're clean and ready to go. That's really preferred, rather than putting a bottle of Gatorade with half the content still in there. That's just going to cause a mess, and these people will have to be touching those items. Batteries can cause fires at sorting facilities if they are pressurized. It actually happened at a sorting facility here locally about a year ago, so keep batteries out. And then diapers, don't put them in the recycling. All right. Hey, once again, for the millionth time, don't put plastic bags in your recycling carts or dumpsters. I have an alternative solution here for you. And I know it's confusing because plastic bags do have a little chasing arrow symbol on them. Don't be confused by that chasing arrow symbol, just because something has that chasing arrow symbol on it does not mean it's recyclable. If you look inside of that chasing arrow symbol, it actually is a number 4. And if you remember what we talked about earlier, only 1s, 2s, and 5s are accepted in Dakota County. So keep that plastic bag out of the cart. All right, so you're listening to this riveting presentation today, and you're not 100% sure what to do with your item that you have in your home. You can check the Dakota County materials that is provided to you if you don't see it on there. You can also go to our online recycling guide. So this recycling guide is basically just a search function similar to Google, where you can type what you're trying to get rid of into the search bar here. So for example, if you're trying to get rid of a calendar, can I put a calendar into the recycling? You type that into the search bar and it will tell you either yes or no, or if there's some other way that you can use that item. The difference between using this recycling guide and like Google is this recycling guide will give you results that are specific to Dakota County, versus if you use Google, you could get results from all over the state of Minnesota, like any county all over the place. But the recycling guide will be Dakota County, and it's updated frequently. Also on here is a fun waste sorting game that is really cool to do with kids if you have them, or if you know some kids that could use something to do during COVID. Recycling events, so the shred events that I mentioned earlier, they would be listed up on here. And then, yeah, just feel free to check out this recycling guide. It's really helpful and it's there for you to use. All right, so this is our #1 mantra in recycling education. When in doubt, throw it out. If you have checked our materials, still can't find your item, if you checked our Dakota County recycling guide and you still can't find your item, if you're really not sure and you're really confused, it's just safer to throw it away. I know that nobody loves throwing away items that they are worried could be recycled, but really that is doing the sorting facilities a favor when we're not sending them trash. So contamination ruins recycling, so it's just safer to throw it away if you're not sure. All right, so our gift to you, not really. This is something that we are providing to program participants that participate in the Dakota County Multifamily Recycling Program. We provide them this recycling tote bag. It's designed this way so it can basically like hang on a doorknob, fit in a small area. You can collect your recyclables inside of this bag. See, even it has a list right on the bag of what is accepted in recycling. And then you can carry this bag down to your recycling area, empty it, and reuse it. So kind of cool, and I can get you some more information on how you should be able to collect your recycling tote bag, but check out some of the materials that are stuffed inside of there. We have the home recycling guide, which is basically like our go-to guide for everything recycling related and how to get rid of not just recycling, but things like food scraps, how to get off junk mail lists, things like that. Also in there is a food waste prevention guide, so how to throw away less food, really important. Information on our organics drop sites, and then possibly some reuse information. So lots of really good information stuffed inside of there. And then last but not least, I can't forget this, we have a recycling cling. So it looks like a one-sided document. It's actually a cling that you can pull off from the backing. You can put it on a refrigerator and it actually won't leave any residue or an adhesive stick. And so you don't need to just put it on your refrigerator. You can put it on a wall where it makes the most sense to hang where your recycling is collected. All right, so if you have any questions about today, if you have any questions about where you can pick up your free recycling tote bag, you can talk to your property manager, or maybe you don't have a property manager, but you might have like a recycling champion in your building. Hopefully you know who they are. If you're not sure, you can reach out to Dakota County. Our number is included here, or our email is included here as well. We love getting questions from residents. It's like what we do as educators is we feed off of answering people's questions and clearing up any confusion. We want to make recycling easy, accessible, and fun for you as a Dakota County resident. And feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future. Thank you so much for signing on today. I had a lot of fun chatting with you, and I hope that you will stay engaged and are excited to recycle in the future. Thank you so much.